Hey guys, today we are working on our body paragraphs or support paragraphs for our research paper. So I'm going to use our outline that we created before to help guide you in our body paragraphs. But I'm not going to write a model like I did with our other informational paragraph because our research paper really is an informational paragraph or informational essay, excuse me. So that means that you guys already know kind of how to write an informational essay, and now I'm just kind of guiding you and reminding you, okay? So I'm going to title this our body paragraphs, which are also our support paragraphs. And based off of our outline and the graphic organizers, we have three, okay? So our first one, which is going to be paragraph 2 of our essay, okay, is on ecosystems. So what ecosystem are you doing it on? Okay, are you doing it on the ocean? Are you doing it on the tundra, the rainforest? Which ecosystem are you doing it on? And then you're going to answer what makes your ecosystem so unique. So I know we put that in our outline, but I'm going to go ahead and put that again. What makes this ecosystem so unique? Basically, without giving your opinion, why this ecosystem? Why did you choose this one? Okay. And then you're going to give some brief information about your ecosystem. What's the climate of your ecosystem? Okay. Um, is there a lot of growth in your ecosystem? Okay. And then you're going to talk about what kind of animals and plants live in your ecosystem. So, what kind of animals and plants? And then this is where you start to cite evidence. So I'm going to put a little asterisk here, and I want to put cite evidence. Let's remember the thing, how we have to cite. Number one, we have to put quotation marks around the thing that we are copying. If we are copying word for word, we have to use quotation marks. Okay, so quotation marks would be something like this, where it would say like the tiger preys on gazelles. Okay, if I'm copying that word for word, I have to have these quotation marks. And then I'm going to put parentheses here, and I'm going to put where did I get this article or this quote from? So it may be the article on the Sahara Desert. So the article might be called the Sahara Desert. I'm going to put that. And then maybe it's a one-page article, so then I put what paragraph I got it in. But if it's several page article, then I'll put what page I got it from. So maybe it's from page 2. So I'm just like briefly citing where I got this evidence from, okay? But you want to start citing evidence in your body paragraphs, okay? So that's why I'm putting this here. But right now I could have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences plus citing evidence. So I definitely have more than 5 sentences. And we want to make sure that this is 5 to 8 sentences. It can, of course, go more. You don't have to stop at 8 or at 5. Do not just do the minimum. Make sure you're getting out the information that you need to get out, okay? Um, make sure that you also use a transition word. So we talked about transition phrases and words or sentences to connect the previous paragraph to this paragraph. So the previous paragraph, you probably ended with some information about your ecosystem. We'll link it to this paragraph. How are they linked, okay? So use a transition or something that connects these two paragraphs together. Okay, then paragraph 3 of your essay is going to be on your plant adaptations. Okay, you do definitely want this anywhere from 5 to 8 sentences. Of course, it can be more. You don't have to stop at 5 or 8. Okay, so the things that you're going to talk about in this paragraph. So obviously you're going to introduce your plant. Introduce a plant that grows in your ecosystem. You want to be descriptive, okay? Because the person who's reading your essay isn't going to know what this plant looks like. So be descriptive. What does it look like? And I'm going to put be descriptive here. Okay, describe it so that your reader can really see what that plant looks like. And then, of course, the most important information is what adaptations does this plant have? What adaptations? I'm just going to stop there because otherwise it may go even longer. But you also have to make sure that you are stating the behavioral adaptations and the physical adaptations. Okay, cite evidence. So use that research that you did last week to cite your evidence. Remember to use quotation marks. If you are paraphrasing, that means you're taking what they wrote and putting it into your own words. Then you don't need quotation marks because you're paraphrasing, you're putting it into your own words. But you do still need to reference the article that you're paraphrasing. Okay, so that's where this part comes in. Let me see. I think that's good. So let's move on to our fourth paragraph, which is fourth paragraph of our essay, which is going to be, of course, our animal adaptations. Okay. And remember how we talked about linking, so using a transition word to connect our paragraphs. So you use something that connects, most likely plant right here, right? What type of plants live in your ecosystem to a specific plant. So you could say like one specific plant that lives in the rainforest is, and then you introduce which plant it is, okay? Then you'll continue with that, and then now the same thing here. Then you can put one animal that lives in the rainforest is, and then you're listing the animal adaptation, okay? And that's how you're connecting your paragraphs here with transitions. Okay, so your requirements for this paragraph are going to be the same as this one, except for plant, we're going to put animal. So I'm going to put the same thing, introduce an animal in your ecosystem. If some of you have chosen to write about 2 plants or 2 animals, that's perfectly fine. You can separate these into 2 paragraphs if you have more than 8 sentences, or if you don't, then you can just keep put them all in. So if you decide to do 2 plants, you can do both plants in paragraph 3. If you do 2 animals, you can do both animals in paragraph 4. If you're going over 8 sentences though, you may want to split that up into 2 paragraphs for plants, 2 paragraphs for animals. Okay? It's totally okay if you're writing more than 5 to 6 paragraphs. Okay, so where you introduce your animal and your ecosystem, what does your animal look like? I'm also going to put not life, but like. I'm also going to put what character traits do they have? What character traits? And then I'm going to put here, be descriptive. Okay, be descriptive. Help your reader imagine this animal and what they are like, okay? And then again, what adaptations do they have? And then you want to state their behavioral adaptations and their physical adaptations. Okay, what are their behavioral and physical adaptations? And then, of course, do not forget to cite evidence. Again, there's two ways to cite evidence. You can actually quote. So you're copying a sentence, then you're going to quote it, and then you're going to reference it here. The second way is to paraphrase, but then you want to make sure that you reference it, okay? And I think that's everything. Just looking at our outline here. But you remember, this should be 5 to 8 sentences. If you're writing about more than one animal, it may go longer, so then you just have to decide if you want to make it into 2 paragraphs or not. But you should have plenty of information here to make it 5 to 8 sentences, especially when you're citing evidence, because that's going to take up a sentence or 2, depending how much you're citing. But make sure that you did this research. Use your research and put it into your essay. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to see me during office hours and I can guide you. Don't forget to use a transition going from each paragraph. And I think that's it. So then you'll do this today, and tomorrow we'll do our conclusion.